Hi everybody, Gary Williams here for Toolbarn.com's Barn Banter. I'm sure you've heard somewhere that you should measure twice and cut once, and that's really good advice, and it's really important advice, and because of that, today's subject might be one of the most important ones we cover, and it's all about measurement and layout. So when you're planning a project, you really want to make sure that you plan that with nice, flat, level, horizontal lines and nice, good vertical plumb lines, and I'm going to show you how to use this laser device to get those kind of lines. It's worth taking a look at. Then we're going to talk to the most level-headed guy that I know, Professor Know-It-All from Toolbarn University, about the different kinds of levels that are available these days and why you might want to consider one versus another. But first, when it comes to doing all that measurement, I'm going to show you a little device that might just want to make you put the old metal measuring tape at the bottom of the tool bag. So stay with us. Hey, if you've got a carpeting or a tiling project or drywalling or painting or remodeling, HVAC, any kind of a project where you've got to do a lot of measuring and it's got to be very, very precise, this is the tool for you. This is the Bosch GLM15 laser measure, or rangefinder is basically what it is. And I'll tell you, these things with one button operation can make very short work and give you some really precise measurements with any kind of a project you're working on. We're going to give you a really simple example of how this thing might come together for you. Let's take a tape measure and try to measure the width of this door frame here. And you know, it's a little bit awkward. You can come up with your 34 3/4 inch width, bend the tape, get it all set up there, and that's okay. Or you can take this thing, set the base up against one side of the frame, push the button, and just in about the blink of an eye, you get 2 feet 10 inches and 3/4, which is 34 3/4 inches. Fast and accurate. Now imagine having to take measurements. For example, if you're putting carpet down, taking measurements with this thing, several different parts of a room, that's a time-consuming process. Or you can use something like this and get it done a whole lot faster and just as accurately, more accurately in most cases. Now you may remember in our remodeling episode we talked about these laser measures, or rangefinders if you will. Bosch has a variety of these things with a lot more features in some cases, but this is a great basic model to have in your toolbox. It helps you get work done really quickly and really easily, and it gives you some really accurate measurements. So check them out on Toolbarn.com. Do you know what's even cooler than red lasers? Green lasers. Green lasers are more visible than red lasers, and they're really practical at a busy job site where maybe everybody but you will be using red lasers. If you've got the green one, you'll be able to pick out your green lines pretty quick. This is the PLS 180 laser line level, and it's great for drawing very nice horizontal and vertical lines. It'll give you good right angles when you're working on a project, and I'll tell you what, this thing is a very, very, very good device to have. Now, how does it do that? Well, let's roll that beautiful beam footage. If you've got two levels, there are different ways that you can get a good vertical and horizontal line. For example, you just take one level and put it up against the wall and kind of level things out there. Now that is a nice plumb line right there. And then you can take your other and put it in place there and get a nice horizontal level line there. So that works. Everything is kind of squared up right there. But there is an easier way with the green beam. Now see that? You've got a great horizontal line, you've got a great plumb line. These are right angles, they're all squared up. It's a lot faster way to do things, and it's a great little tool to have. Cross my heart. Hammers, saws, basic carpentry tools. Add to that levels and pencils. They've all been around for a long time, and none of them have really changed a whole lot, at least not in the area of levels and pencils until recently. Pencils, of course, have become mechanical, but levels are getting a little bit more complex as well. So we're going to have a discussion today with Professor Know-It-All from Toolbarn University, who's going to run through a few of the different types of levels that are out there and explain what they do and why they do them. So let's take a stroll over to Toolbarn University. It could take some time, so stay with us if you would. All right, we're here at Toolbarn University, and I don't see Professor Know-It-All. I see
I'm Chancellor Griffith.
Chancellor Griffith, okay.
I'm head of Toolbarn University. And unfortunately, due to some unforeseen and unexplainable circumstances, Professor Know-It-All will not be with us.
Unexplainable. Sounds mysterious.
It is.
That's the world of Toolbarn University. So.
Yes.
Well, look, then I assume that you can kind of lead us through this maze of levels here and give us the level straight information on all this stuff, right?
I will be happy to.
Great. Well, let's start. So tell us about some of these different kinds of things. Let's start with this thing that I brought over. What's special about this? It just looks like a regular metal level.
This is a regular metal level in a lot of ways. This is what is commonly referred to as a spirit level, or as most people call it, just a level. Spirit level is called that because this tube in the middle is almost completely filled with spirit alcohol. And by leaving just a little bit out, you get a bubble. That bubble naturally seeks the high point in the tube, which is slightly curved. So if this is on a level surface, that bubble goes right to the middle, like it's doing now.
Spirit levels have nothing to do with pep rallies.
No pep rallies or ghosts.
Okay, different things, okay.
Yes.
All right, so this thing, now look, this has got a couple of magnets in it, correct?
Yes, it does.
So for those, obviously it doesn't work on wood, but if you're working on metal, that's pretty convenient. Hands-free operation.
Correct. And if you are working on wood, you could actually use some hand clamps or something like that to keep it in place.
Right, yeah, because it won't work on wood otherwise.
Yes. Yeah. But levels are used by a variety of craftsmen, carpenters, masons, surveyors, metal workers, and even the lowly videographer has been known to use a level from time to time.
We've had a problem sometimes with the video being just a little off kilter. So
I can see that.
Level, yeah, well, it might just be me because I lean a little bit. But so you've got all different sizes of levels, all different kinds of levels, all different price ranges of levels. I know this would probably, I'm assuming, be one of the more basic. Just a plastic.
An inexpensive level.
Sure.
This is one of the neater levels. This is a modern innovation on the level. As you can maybe able to read here, it has a digital readout showing the angle, and it's not only on the front side, but it's on the top side. Right. So when it's placed down, you can easily see that level.
And you would want to know, it'll measure angles for you, and people might say, well, I thought levels were for flat or plumb surfaces. Why do you need to know angles?
That's a very good question. Angles are important in things like the American Disability Act for ramps. If you're building your own rafters, so you can get the pitch of the roof correct, or stairs or other things like that.
And this is a lot more. This is a lot handier than a lot of other ways to get those correct pitches. You certainly would not want to use something like this.
With a traditional bubble, it'd be almost impossible to accurately guess what the angle is. And the other way of doing it would be to, for example, grab a tape, measure distance, measure height, and then you could figure out the angle.
Who wants to do math when you're building stuff, though? I mean,
exactly.
Wood levels are still around. This one's mahogany. This is a very nice tool. But with all the advances, for example, in technology and in metal, why would you still use a wooden level?
Wood is very popular with masons, for example, and the main reason being is wood is a little bit more durable when it's how do I put this delicately?
When you smack
manipulated with a hammer. And the reason that a mason would do that is to level grout or whatever material is in between bricks. They can use that to really get a good level on each row of.
And they're still very durable. Devices and tools, right?
Yeah, and also they look nice.
Yeah, well, they do look nice, absolutely. Maybe a silly question. Different lengths, I suppose, the bigger the project, the longer of a level that you want to have to work with, right?
Yeah, this will help you ensure a better level over a longer angle, which should make it more accurate.
Great. Well, thanks for that level-headed information that you've given us about levels. Look, everything really begins when you're in any kind of a project with having a good level plumb surface. Right angles are good in a construction project, and the bigger the project, the more important it is to get those angles correct when you start, right?
That is correct. And, even though I work for Toolbarn University, I always go back to what my grandfather said, which is measure twice, cut once.
We've got any kind of level that you could possibly want at toolbarn.com. We've got all kinds of carpentry, woodworking, layout devices, measurement devices at toolbarn.com. So the next time you've got a project, if you're looking for tools, you know where to go, toolbarn.com. Thanks, and join us next time.
Thank you.